Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of r/slash entitled people. In today's episode, my first encounter with the fabled Karen dealt with a last-minute entitled customer. My coworker threw money at me. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My first encounter with the fabled Karen. I wanted to share a story that just recently popped into my mind. It was 2-ish years ago, so my memory is a bit fuzzy. Also, not 100% sure if this belongs here. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Anyway, IF18 at the time, was working at a fast food place. I've only ever seen one of these specific places in my life, but I won't give the name just in case. To give you the basic idea, its food is Italian, which means it's mostly pasta. Sure, we had pizza slices, breadsticks, and salads, but mostly different pasta dishes. It's not terribly important for the story, but it's some nice context nonetheless. I always worked the closing shift, 5 to 10, which really went from 5 to 11 with all the things that had to be done for closing. I want to say it was around the middle of my shift, or maybe in the first half. I always worked up front, taking orders and running out food for tables. It was business as usual, and then a woman walked in. Yes, dear readers, the Karen of the wild. I welcomed her with the typical, "Hi, welcome to restaurant name. What can I get for you?" Things went well. She ordered her meal. I think the total was $10, or around that range, and I rattled off the phrase that has been burned into my brain. "Me, would you like to leave a tip?" Surprisingly, she said yes. No red flags yet, so I continued. "Me, alrighty. Please press 1, 2, or 3 on the keypad. Then, press the green button." I watched as she pushed the buttons in that order. Now, the buttons corresponded to different tip amounts. 1 was $1, 2 was $3, and 3 was $5. Since she had pressed 3 as the final button, it meant she gave a $5 tip. Here's where things get messy after I gave her the receipt. She inspected it intently and then started complaining about how much she had tipped. A few of the lines I remember very clearly. "I'm not giving you a $5 tip for a $10 purchase." And the good "OL, I pay your salary." I was trying to explain that she hadn't listened to what I had said, that I had said 1, 2, or 3, not 1, 2, and 3. This back and forth continued, and some of my coworkers even came to defend me, saying that I have very clear instructions. Some more back and forth happened, and the manager was called to settle this. He was busy, so it would take a minute or two. But during that time, this woman stared me directly in the eyes and said, "I don't like your B***TCHY attitude." I, obviously shocked, exclaimed, "Excuse me?" And being as shocked and angry as I was, felt tears in my eyes. I cry when I'm really angry, for some reason. Anyway, manager got there and settled it. I can't remember exactly what the outcome was, since I was already helping a group of younger boys. I got one more story from my time there, which only lasted about 6 months. If anyone is interested, I'd be happy to share. I miss that place. Ours went out of business. I have one down the street, and now I want some. Anytime someone tells me they don't like my attitude, I reply, "That's fair. I don't like yours, either." Couldn't this have all been prevented with an, "Oh, let me do a refund and start over"? Dealt with a last-minute entitled customer. I'm a 27 Hispanic male on the spectrum, and I work at a big retail hardware store. I'll try to be subtle with where I work for the sake of my anonymity. Now I do loading assistance for customers that need help with carrying heavy items. In my line of work, I've practically almost lifted it all: wood, drywall, glass window gates, doors, insulation, you name it. As an employee, I've had my fair share of customers I've barely tolerated, and I just grin and bear it because it's my job. And Lord knows in the world of retail, there are people that will come in less than 5 minutes before we close. It happens. But last night, I dealt with a last-minute customer whose vibe was simply unpleasant. He looked to be older than my father by a few years, was white with a white beard that went down to his neck. He comes in less than 5 minutes before we close and parks in the loading area when he's not supposed to, and he says he knows what he's gonna get and that he wants help loading. From the way he spoke in his smug tone of voice, one of my male coworkers and I did not like him. There was this entitlement in his voice when he said, "Are you gonna help me load insulation?" I helped him to provide excellent customer service, but my God, he was ungrateful. He wanted 6 pieces of insulation and I loaded all 4 pieces of insulation into a large enough cart while he dragged 2 pieces of insulation by himself. When it was time to pay for his insulation, this jerk dragged 2 of his pieces of insulation outside before paying for all his products. He tried to make me load the other pieces of insulation. When I protested that I wouldn't load until he officially paid for everything, he asked in that entitled tone of voice, "You think I don't have money?" Thankfully, the head cashier whom I'm friends with stepped in and explained that it was corporate policy. I was just trying to stay calm because I did not like this asshole. Once it was all paid for, I loaded the rest of his insulation, and he didn't even say thanks for helping, so I didn't even bother thanking him for shopping with us and wishing him a nice evening because I was sick of his shit and I just wanted to go home. It's not often I deal with an entitled last-minute customer, but boy, do they leave a rotten impression on me and my coworkers. I also work in retail/customer service industry. It definitely is an experience everyone should have prior to being allowed to be a customer. Everyone knows the receipt is the first part of the process to getting out through the door in any retail location. Thank goodness you could go home right after dealing with his nonsense. Glad the cashier stepped in and had your back. There is a book called The No Asshole Rule. You can find it on Amazon. It's a fun read. Anyhow, the rule applies to coworkers, vendors, and customers. Simply put, one does not need to tolerate assholes under any circumstances. Entitled customers are included. My coworker threw money at me. So I, 18F, work at a pizza place and this guy, 18M, is a delivery driver. Let's call him Kevin. Kevin is an asshole. He used to be nice, yet ever since he dyed his hair dark brown been such an asshole. Tonight, while I was closing him out, he realized he had 2 $10 bills and asked me, "Do you have any 20s?" I said, "Yeah, why?" And he proceeded to throw his 10s at me saying, "I want to swap these with a 20. Why else would I ask?" I told Kevin as nice I could, "I don't think we need any more 10s right now, since we don't need 10s, and that's why we swap with the drivers. If the register is low on small bills." And to that he replied, "So can you still do it or what?" I reluctantly did so, and as Kevin was walking out I heard him say, "'Cause I don't want any fucking 10s. He's been so mean to me, and I close alone with him on Sunday night, and am so terrified he's going to be even worse when we're alone. As this happened when someone was right by us. Kevin is a fake name for privacy reason. Edit. Also yes, I'm a trans guy. I'm actually a guy, but I'm not out yet. So to everyone around me I am a female. So that's why I said I'm a female in this post, as that's how people treat and view me. Check if it is okay for one-sided recording where you live and record this turd muffin. Then let your boss know that if you ever end up working with him ever again, you will lock up and walk out that very second. My state is a 2-party consent state, so I can't record him secretly. Definitely record any interactions with him for safety, and also to show your boss. Put your phone in your pocket and press record, that way he won't see it. Audio is just as beneficial as video at times. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.